Hey there, English speakers. Welcome back to another conversation training video. This is for more advanced level speakers, upper intermediate, advanced, who want to fine-tune and observe what makes a native speaker, what sounds like a native speaker, what kinds of fluency builders can we use to increase your fluency, and more important, increase your English speaking confidence. My name's Jesse, and I'm an English fluency coach, and I help students like you improve your English speaking confidence and fluency. So if this is your first time here, which it probably is, let's be honest, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss a single video. Okay, in today's video, we are looking at a conversation from the Joe Rogan Podcast. I love using this podcast with students because, for one, it's a genuine conversation. So you get genuine conversation lessons. And for two, the Joe Rogan Podcast is huge. It's the number one podcast in the world. I believe that's factually true. You can check it out and let me know later. But since it's so big, since it's so famous, since it's so huge, then it's a great connector. It's a great bridge between you and somebody you want to talk to, right? If you want to build relationships with someone, if you're living in a foreign country, or you're trying to build connections and things in common. That's a great way to build friendships and build personal connections. Knowing his podcast and references from his podcast is a great way to build connections because chances are you know somebody who watches or listens to the episode. Today, we have a conversation with an actor called Rob Lowe, and he's been in some comedies, mostly big in the 80s and 90s, just gigantic. And they are talking about how when Rob Lowe was working with Patrick Swayze and the type of worker he was. So let's get in the conversation. I'll break it down, break some fluency parts down so you can learn from it and upgrade your English speaking. Let's go.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
When we did Outsiders, we were kids, Cruz and me and Matt Dillon and everybody. We were young. I was 17.
Whoa!
17, turning 18, and C. Thomas Howell, who played Ponyboy, the lead in the movie, was 15.
Okay, let's stop it here. And he said some interesting stuff. A little context. He's talking about a film called The Outsiders. And The Outsiders was very big in the early 90s. A lot of people watched it. I know I watched it in my high school for our English class. But it had a lot of famous people that are now really famous. Patrick Swayze, C. Thomas Howell, Rob Lowe, Tom Cruise. So it had all of these now famous actors in it when they were kids. And that's what he was talking about. So English related, he said, I was 17 going on 18. I was 17 going on 18. When you're 17 and your 18th birthday is coming up. 17 going on 18. And another way you could say that now, if you're talking to yourself about yourself, I'm turning 18. In August, later this month, I'm going to be turning 41. Can you believe it? Ow, I hurt my head with my ring. Let's listen.
Young. I was 17.
Whoa!
17, turning 18, and we were young. I was 17.
Whoa!
17, turning 18, and C. Thomas Howell, who played Ponyboy, the lead in the movie, was 15.
I guess he didn't say going on. He said turning, right? So that's something to learn, right? Going on, you could say that too. but turning is more natural. I was 17, turning 18. I'm going to be turning 41. What are you going to turn your next birthday? Comment below.
17 turning 18, and C. Thomas Howell, who played Ponyboy, the lead in the movie, was 15. And when we would finish shooting, we'd get in the vans to get driven back to the hotel, and there would be as much beer as you wanted. He's 15.
Wow.
As much beer as you wanted. And that was a studio movie.
Look at you guys. Look at
wait.
Notice, I want to stop here. He said, as much beer as you wanted. He said that quickly. But pick up the language. As much beer as you wanted. As much beer as you wanted. As much noun as you want. Right? As much noun as you want. As much beer as you wanted. As much beer as you wanted. As much as you wanted. As much as you wanted. Right? It's kind of as much. As much. We don't say as much. As much. As much. As much beer as you wanted. As you wanted. As you wanted. Break those apart and practice each one. As much. As much. As much. As much. As you wanted. As you wanted. As you wanted. As you wanted. As much beer as you wanted. As much beer as you wanted. And if you practice this with the rhythm, with your mouth, I think it'll work it out and improve. Let's listen again.
Hotel, and there would be as much beer as you wanted. He's 15.
Wow.
As much beer as you wanted. And that was a studio movie.
Look at you guys. Look at Tom Cruise for
can
you.
Can you pull that photo up to see our feet? Is that possible? Because that feet, there it is.
Yeah.
It's down there. Okay, look at Swayze. He's standing on bricks. Look at his feet. He wanted to be taller. Isn't that great? Swayze's standing on bricks in the back of that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Isn't that great? That's one of my favorite.
Hilarious.
It's my favorite things.
Speaking of Swayze, Roadhouse. That's another horrible movie that's amazing.
But people.
So, a good conversation builder there. Speaking of Roadhouse, or speaking of Swayze, speaking of something that's in the topic that you're talking about. So it's when you're connecting a topic you're talking about and you kind of want to change topics a little bit, right? Or you want to bring it in a different direction or continue this topic, but bring it in a different direction. Speaking of whatever you're talking about, and then bring something in that's related a little bit. Right? And that's a way to continue a conversation.
That's right. That's one of my
hilarious.
favorite. It's my favorite things.
Speaking of Swayze, Roadhouse. That's another horrible movie that's amazing.
But people love that movie.
Oh, it's great.
Another horrible movie that's amazing. Do you know those? What's one of those that is a horrible movie that it's like not really good quality, bad story, unbelievable, but everyone loves it? Napoleon Dynamite was one back in the early 2000s. So, but going back, the conversation builder, he said, that's hilarious. He connects, he acknowledges what the other person said, right? What Rob Lowe said. He acknowledged it like legitimately, sincerely, and then the connector, speaking of Swayze, and then brought the conversation in a different topic, a different way. This is how to build, how to grow in your communication and build connections, build friendships, right? Build relationships, professional or personal. Listen to that again and move on.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Isn't that great? That's one of my favorite.
Hilarious.
It's my favorite things.
Speaking of Swayze, Roadhouse. That's another horrible movie that's amazing.
But people love that movie.
Oh, it's great. It's fucking great.
It's great. He's a bouncer.
Great. Yeah, he's the baddest bouncer. And that's part of the thing. It's like, I thought you were going to be bigger. Remember that? That's like one of the lines in the movie. Because he's a legendary bouncer that they bring in to fix really bad honky tonks.
The bad problems at the door.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic
He even
of
does
people
the thing.
trying to get in.
He
The
grabs someone's
VIPs.
neck. He grabs someone's neck and pulls their throat out in the movie.
I mean,
So, a little cultural reference here. The honky tonks are like what they call like the bars in the South, in the deep United States, right? With country music playing, the line dancing, people with the cowboy hats. Oh, where's my cowboy hat? People with the cowboy hats. Those are called honky tonks, like in the lingo, right? The honky tonks. It's in country songs and things like that. But he was a bouncer. A bouncer, by the way, a bouncer is the man at the door that allows people to come in, checks your ID or whatever. And if people get too aggressive, he throws them out. Right? That's the bouncer, the protection of the bar, right? The protector of the bar. That's a bouncer.
That's amazing.
but people love that movie.
Oh, it's great. It's fucking great.
It's great. He's
It's
a bouncer.
great. Yeah. Yeah, he's the baddest bouncer. And that's part of the thing. It's like, I thought you were going to be bigger. Remember that? That's like one of the lines in the movie. Because he's a legendary bouncer that they bring in to fix really bad honky tonks.
The bad problems at the door.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic
He even
of
does
people
the thing.
trying to get in.
He
The
grabs someone's
VIPs.
neck. He grabs someone's neck and pulls their throat out in the movie.
I mean, it's so good.
Pain don't hurt. That's the actual line in the movie. Pain don't hurt.
Those 80s lines are so good.
So good. That's such a great one because he's so beautiful. Such a beautiful
Swayze
man.
was an Adonis. He was an Adonis.
Gorgeous.
He tried to get us to put that godforsaken.
So, some language here. Time out. He said he's gorgeous. He's a beautiful man. That's funny because typically we don't use Joe Rogan's fame. Typically we don't use those adjectives, beautiful and gorgeous, for men, especially like masculine men, right? So him using this is hilarious because Patrick Swayze is a very handsome man. Not masculine handsome, but pretty handsome, right? And kind of like Rob Lowe. And so that's why it's so funny. He's using beautiful and gorgeous because it's not typical.
So good. That's such a great one because he's so beautiful. Such a beautiful
Swayze
man.
was an Adonis. He was an Adonis.
Gorgeous.
He tried to get us to put that godforsaken song, She's Like the Wind, in Youngblood. We were like,
There it is. He pulls the throat
he pulls
out.
the guy's throat out.
And then he hits him with the worst spinning back kick ever in the butt. Watch. He pulls his throat out and look at this. Poya!
I like, Poya!
It's so bad. That's such a bad kick. He probably blew his ACL out.
That was a terrible kick. Did you see that? Look at this.
Doing that. He pulls his throat out and look at this. Poya!
I like, Poya!
It's so bad. That's such a bad kick. He probably blew his ACL out doing that. It's so stupid.
He was the best, man, dude. He was the most. He might be the most intense guy I ever worked with.
Really?
Yeah. He'd be up all night writing and like doing body weight push-ups with his feet up against a wall all night long, and
Really?
and then show up at the set having not slept and wanting you to hear his new demo. And he was like a lot. It was great. It was great.
He genuinely loves it. So going back, having not slept a lot. That's some like advanced grammar that I wouldn't really recommend learning. There are a lot of other useful grammars before this one. But having not slept, having done something is a way to talk about the past, but like a past story, right? So when you're talking about the past, that like a past story that has happened, and then here's the other past, right? Having not slept, like you're talking about this, like I'm here in the present, here's the past, and he would come into the set having not slept in the past, having not slept or having done push-ups all night, right? So it's kind of like a present perfect, but you're talking about a past story. So the result of the present perfect, does that make sense? The result of the present perfect, having done push-ups all night or having not slept, is the result of something even further in the past. Let's listen again. Now that you have that in mind, let's listen to how Rob Lowe used it.
He might be the most intense guy I ever worked with.
Really?
Yeah. He'd be up all night writing and like doing body weight push-ups with his feet up against a wall all night long, and
Really?
and then show up at this set having not slept and wanting you to hear his new demo. And he was like a lot. It was great. It was great. But no, I remember She's Like the Wind, and I was like, I don't know how that fits in we're making a hockey movie, bro. I don't know how that fits in the hockey movie.
Why did he want that in there?
And then, sure enough, Dirty Dancing comes out, and that movie's in it and goes to #1.
Oh, well, yeah. But that movie, okay, that was a good movie.
Dirty Dancing?
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
That was a great movie.
Ghost is his best movie.
Yeah.
Ghost is a great movie.
That's a great movie.
Great movie.
He did Point Break was a great movie.
Great movie.
He did some great movies.
Ghost was a very good movie. I've actually had an out-of-body experience. A side note, by the way. Speaking of Ghost, see how we use it? This is how I want you to use these expressions in your practice, right? You think of where it could go, and then you use it. But speaking of Ghost, I had an out-of-body experience once where I was in a situation and I left my body and I turned around and looked at my body and I came back like Patrick Swayze in Ghost. It was incredible. Let me know if you want to hear that story. I'll tell you about it. But anyway, here we go. Talking about Ghost.
Yeah, he's
Keanu was in Youngblood, but I thought he was French. I thought he was a French Canadian goalie.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know he was an actor. I literally thought he was. We hired this amazing French Canadian goalie.
I can't believe how young you guys were.
I know.
That's so crazy that they were giving you booze.
So he said, that's so crazy how they were giving you booze. That's so crazy how they were doing something. That's so crazy how you used to do this. That's so crazy how I used to bull ride in the rodeo. That's so crazy how, and then your sentence. That's so crazy how. And giving you booze. Booze is a slang word for alcohol. So, let me get back over here in the middle. That's it. That is Joe Rogan and Rob Lowe talking about Patrick Swayze. I like to dissect these conversations. I like to do them because I want to give you the tools to be able to do this for yourself. So when you're listening to a conversation, you can pick up these little details, these finer points, and add it to your skills so you can have better conversations, so you can make better connections with people in your personal life, in the office, in the workplace, wherever you need to. And now I want to do this new kind of feature that I like, that I had in mind to do. And as you see up here, I have, let me see if I can do this without these trading cards from like the 80s, from the 1980s. Are there any 1980s wrestling fans out here? Let me know below if you like wrestling. Something I'm going to do, and I've been meaning to do it at the end of my videos, is take a look at one of these cards every week and say a memory about them, or see if you have a memory about them. So this one is about the Rockers. If you can see this, the Rockers. And right now, which one is that? Marty Jannetty. And I'm just going to read the facts that are on the back here. So we have these cards. I got them when I was maybe 7, 8 years old. Who knows? What's the date on these things? 91. So I guess I was 11 years old. 10 or 11. Let's read about the Rockers. Do you remember who they are? Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Combined weight of 463 pounds. From Columbus, Georgia. Marty Jannetty's from Columbus, Georgia. Shawn Michaels from San Antonio, Texas. Their birthdays, I guess I'll hold it like this. Marty Jannetty, February 3rd. Shawn Michaels, July 22nd. Their trademark hold was a double fist off the top turnbuckles. And they were known for living the nightlife and giving their opponents the fight of their careers. Favorite quote, "We party hard and wrestle harder." So that's the Rockers. Next video, I'll have another one. If you like it. If you don't like it, let me know. And I'm not going to do another one. Okay. That's it for me. Take these tools. Go use them in your conversations and with your students or whatever you need them for. If you need anything from me, then comment below. Tell me what you need. Let's talk. Let's get connected. And keep teaching. Keep learning. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.